A warm welcome to Diski Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Orlando Pirates as I have a look at their new head coach and their new signings as well. However, we will start then with their new head coach. So Orlando Pirates have appointed Jose Riveiro, which is a Spanish national who then last coached FC Inter in Finland. So when you do have a look at him then, he's not really known to the South African public. However, from the little information that I have gathered concerning him, he does prefer to play a 3-4-2-1. So when we do have a look at the new signings and what Orlando Pirates could potentially look like going into the new season, we're going to have a look at it from that perspective. So when you do have a look then at Riveiro, this is a man then who has spent a lot of time working more as an assistant coach and working with youth development as well. However, only time will tell with regards to how he does with Orlando Pirates. However, moving on then right along, let's have a look at their new signing. So when you do have a look at Orlando Pirates then, they've made quite a number of signings. So we're going to have a look at them then. We're going to start from defense and then work our way up. So when you do have a look at the first player then, you do have Xoki. So when you have a look at Xoki, this is a defender who was signed from Amazulu, a player then who was doing very, very well for Amazulu with regards to his consistency, his leadership, and his performances from the back. And when you then have a look at his skill set, this is then a defender who is aerially dominant, comfortable with the ball at his feet with regards to build-up play, and a centre-back then who reads the game very well. And when you take into consideration that Orlando Pirates have lacked leadership within their back line, this is a very good signing. And also considering then that a player like Ohepi Jele is coming towards the end of his career. So Xoki then I think is a very good signing for Orlando Pirates and a player then who could prove to be key within the heart of defense. Moving on then right along, the next player then is Sibisi. When you have a look at Sibisi, he is also a centre-back. So with Sibisi then, he was previously the captain of Golden Arrows, a centre-back then who is very strong and very aggressive in duels. However, also very comfortable with regards to building up play from the back. And a good thing then about these two signings for Orlando Pirates is that these are two players then who A, have leadership skills and B, are very good defenders. So this bodes very well for Orlando Pirates backline, especially considering then that in the past season, one would have felt that Olisanda has missed a partner who is a leader and who's very, very strong. So the two of them then can look to compete and look then to join Olisanda within the heart of defense. Moving on then right along, the next player then is Timm. So when you have a look at Timm then, this is then a defensive midfielder who comes with so much quality and so much experience as well, as he has been playing in the DStv Premiership for the past couple of seasons, both for Marumo Gallants, and he's also played for Maritzburg United as well. So when you look at Timm then and you have a look at his skill set, this is a defensive midfielder who reads the game very well. He's very comfortable on the ball with regards to build-up play. So what he offers Orlando Pirates then in build-up is quite important, because he would look then to collect the ball in those deep pockets of space, and then he'd be looking to distribute for this Orlando Pirates side. The nice thing with him then is that he is press resistant and he can break those lines with penetrative passes from deep pockets of space. So whenever then he is looking then to find his more advanced midfielders within those tight pockets of space to break lines, he would be able to do that. And what I like about him is that he's also quite aggressive in the tackle and he keeps it very, very simple. So immediately when he wins the ball, he's looking then to play that forward pass. And a nice thing then is that he also then has a very high retention rate with regards to how then he looks to keep the ball. He knows when to circulate the ball. He knows then when to progress the ball. And he knows when then to play that diagonal ball. Whenever then he has to stretch play and play that diagonal ball. And when you do look at him then, I do think that this is a very good signing for Orlando Pirates, especially considering that they have been struggling in that position. And also considering that Umusele as an 8 has been doing very well. So if you pair him with Umusele, I think this would be a very, very good partner for Umusele and a player then who can complement Umusele very well. So when you do look at it then, Miguel Timm is a very good signing for this Orlando Pirates side. Moving on then right along, when you do have a look at the next player is Matrose. So when you look at a look at Matrose, this is a player then who was playing for Chippa United, a young, very quick and very creative winger who can come off the left hand side, who can come off the right hand side as well. However, it is reported that he will go out on loan to Chippa. And then moving on then right along, the next player then, you do have Evanga. So when you have a look at Evanga, this was a player then who was quite key with regards to Chippa United staying up last season, with regards to the goals that he scored and his performances as well. Up front then, he is a very, very physical striker, and he's more of a box striker, but he's also has good link-up play, and at times he can then move in behind. And then when you do have a look at the next player, you do have evidence Makgopa. So when you look at Makgopa, this is also yet again another striker. But when you have a look at him, then this is a player who did struggle last season with Baroka and couldn't replicate the form then that helped him break out and get into the national team. But when you do have a look at it, then he does then have an opportunity to ensure that he's able then to prove himself at a high level and playing for a big team as well. However, moving on then right along, let's have a look at how Orlando Pirates could potentially line up going into the new season. We'll have a look at it then from a 3-4-2-1 perspective, because it is said that coach Jose Riveiro does prefer a 3-4-2-1 system. However, we'll also then have a look at it from a 4-2-3-1 and from a 4-3-3 as well. So when you do have a look at it then, let's start then with a 3-4-2-1. Just move the ball there. So that would be our 3-4-2-1. So in goals then, I do think that in goals they would start with Ofori, as towards the end of last season he did have very, very phenomenal displays, especially then within the CAF confederations. He was doing very well and ensured then that they could get to the final. So I think Richard Ofori will definitely start in goals for them. And then as the right-sided centre-back, I do see them starting with Olisanda as the right-sided centre-back. And then as the sweeper playing in between the two wide centre-backs, I do see them with Tapelo Xoki, or you could have Nkosinati Sibisi playing there. And then as a left-sided centre-back, I do foresee Innocent Mayela playing there, because he did finish off the season strongly in the previous season, and he did very well as the left-sided centre-back. And when you do look at him and you look at his qualities, he is very comfortable on the ball, he reads the game well, so it'd be very key with regards to progressing play from the left-hand side within these deep pockets of space. And the nice thing with him then is that whenever you play with three centre-backs, the wide centre-backs always do tend to get dragged out. So when he does get dragged out into that deep defensive wide pocket of space, he'd be able to deal with the one-on-one, because naturally he is the left back and he's used to dealing with that. So I think Innocent Mayela could start there. However, you do also have Paseka Mako, who was doing very well before he did get that injury. As a double pivot within the heart of midfield, I do see Miguel Timm. And then you would have Musele playing as an 8 box to box, and then you will have Miguel Timm as the sitter, as the one then who would be looking to initiate play from deep pockets of space, looking then to take the ball then from build-up play and working it then into consolidation phase. So when you do look at Miguel Timm, it would be very key with regards to the build-up play for Orlando Pirates, and whenever the ball then is within the heart of midfield in consolidation phase, with regards then to being able to circulate it, progress it, and at times then retain the ball. And then moving on then right along, as the left wing back, I do see Dion Hoto starting as the left wing back. As the right wing back then, I do see Shandu starting as the right wing back. And then the two number 10s then, I do see Lorch, Dlamini, and then up front you could either have Pepra, you could have Evanga, or you can have Makgopa as well. However, you do also have Pule. So Pule can always start then as the other number 10. So that is how I see Orlando Pirates lining up in a 3-4-2-1 system with regards to the players that they have currently. We do know that the window is open, so there are players then and there are signings that they still could make and add to the squad as well. However, if Orlando Pirates then were to play with a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, how would it look like? So this is how I think it would look like. So you'd have there. This is what I think Orlando Pirates 4-2-3-1 would look like. So you'd still have Richard Ofori in goals, Bandi Leshandu as the right back, and then as the right-sided centre-back, you'd have Olisanda, Tapelo Xoki as the left-sided centre-back, and then you'd have Mayela, or you could have Marco there, you'd have Miguel Timm, you'd have Musele, and then as a double pivot, and then you could have Hoto coming off the left, off the right-hand side, you have Loch, then you have Dlamini, and then up front you could have either Pepra, Nga, or Makgopa as well. However, we do know that there is Pule as well. So if Pule then were to fit in, I think Pule would come off the left, you'd have Dlamini, and then you'd have Tembinkosi Loch over there. If then they were to play then in a 4-3-3, it could be quite similar then, because you could just have Musele playing more as an advanced 8, you could have Miguel Timm there, and then you could have Dlamini playing then obviously as the number 10 within the midfield 3, and then you'd still have the same front 3 as well. That is how then Orlando Pirates could look to play. However, ladies and gentlemen, like I did mention, the window is still open, so there are quite a number of signings that Orlando Pirates still can make, and they can still add quality players to this then, which would change the complexion. And also then with coach Jose Riveiro, as much as it is said that he does prefer the 3-4-2-1, however, with regards to systems, it always boils down to the personnel that you have and the types of players that you have. So you may have a system that you want to implement, but do you have the right personnel and the right quality to implement that system? So that is why then on today's episode, we had a look at it from a 3-4-2-1 perspective, from a 4-2-3-1 perspective, and from a 4-3-3 perspective. However, coaches can always surprise you, and we could also see a 4-4-2 or see a very, very different shape as well. Ladies and gentlemen, do let me know, what do you make of the new signings for Orlando Pirates going into the new season? What do you make of the new coach as well? Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. If you did enjoy this one, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and share as well. Also, don't forget to comment and be a part of the family, and do tell me what are your thoughts on today's episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. Signing out.